Mr. Chair, you and I don't necessarily agree on the incinerator, but in fairness, we heard earlier about the motion for the inquiry into the groundbreaking event, and an inquiry into proper procedures. Am I correct in my recollection that because all of the information was essentially public anyway, it had been sent to the paper, detailed financial, that we did not deem that necessary? And am I correct in that a request was made that regional staff prepare procedures so that future problems like this could not happen? Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure, so council voted on that, and as a matter of fact, that's moving forward. I was reading, and I don't know if you've had the opportunity, Mr. Chair. Have you read have you had an opportunity to read the minutes from the EFWAC committee? And I don't know if you were present at that committee.
EFWAC?
The Energy from Waste Advisory.
No, I haven't read them.
Would you be surprised to hear a presentation was done? Well, I believe both Councillor Neal and Councillor Novak were there. A presentation was done by Covanta, and if I read the minutes, would you be surprised to hear that Covanta's, and help me out, councillors, their compliance with environmental regulations, I believe, across their fleet of old and new is 98.7%.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me that they have a good record. Anyway, I hate to knock the region, but you should know how many times the region has been charged for environmental problems at our sewage treatment plants and our water plants. As regional councillors, you're aware of that. But anyone can pick up a newspaper and get a bad story. Actually, you can pick up the Toronto Star and get a bad story every day of the week. They think it's a great story. But the issue is, we've got a company coming to town who's had extensive experience in operating energy from waste facilities. Some people don't like it. I totally understand that. Some people like it. I understand that as well. But the fact is, the region of Durham owns this facility. The fact of the matter is, the region of Durham will monitor and watch the contract. And I can assure you, and I can assure members of Clarington, with Councillor Wu and Councillor Foster and Councillor Novak on regional council, that errors by Covanta are going to be, let me say, loudly discussed at regional council by you three. This isn't a surprise, and the regional staff aren't going to put up with it very often. You should also know that if there are any fines, it's not going to impact if they do make a mistake. If something does happen, and people don't realize it, but 99% of the time, companies who are charged under the Environmental Protection Act disclose it themselves. Like, they phone the minister and they get in trouble for it. That's how we get in trouble. Because you tell them what happened. So most of these companies don't deliberately try to hide anything. If this company ever did, I think you know, Councillor Foster or Mayor Foster, that the region of Durham wouldn't stand for it. And we have the opportunity in our contract to make sure it doesn't happen. And but they're a business. And I'm not going to say they're going to be the best business in the world or the worst business in the world. But I can tell you this, they're going to be operating the best facility in the world, so there's no reason for them to make any mistakes. And if they do, they'll be treated appropriately.
Mr. Chair, thank you. And I know an awful lot of people think it's time to move on. I'm going to move on with a couple of questions. Very quickly, 407, there was an estimated cost as to ending even at Harmony Road. Do you recall what that was to the regional taxpayers, which is the same as local taxpayers?
You mean the cost impact if they stopped at Harmony Road?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to say around $50 million, but I don't remember the exact number.
And our numbers were perhaps higher. So just to
yours and Oshawa were extensive.
And just to give the our residents a sense of how important that is, I'm going to end with a trick question. I assume that that you may be leaving us shortly. Were you aware that you have the opportunity on March 2nd?
I am.
To hear General Hillier and support an absolutely amazing project here in Clarington?
Well, you know, since I was speaking to those folks earlier, I advised them that they got an award from Durham about 5 years ago that they didn't remember. And they're going to go back and check on that and make sure they can find it, because I'm going to ask them for it on March 2nd. But as you know, the region, as I spoke about here tonight, Mr. Mayor, the tourism is a big part of Durham. And this will, believe it or not, attract tourism. It sounds strange, but it does. We built I think Mary was there, we built, Councillor Novak, I'm sorry, a fish ladder in Beaverton. We had huge crowds out to watch it, and people are there all the time. So these things are great environmental projects, and we congratulate them. And as I told John O'Toole's son, we'll certainly take it up at tourism and see if we can help them out during their event. And if not, I'm sure you'll invite me to sit at your table. Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Careful what you ask for, huh?